Welcome back to the KickNPost YouTube channel and podcast. Player profiles, player prospect coverage. Bijan Robinson. Kris, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm mad, but I'm good.
Why are you mad,
You know
Kris?
why I'm mad.
Let's
We
not.
just talked about it. You know
Let's
why.
not start. Let's not start this thing
Because
off upset.
I don't want to start upset. I just want to start off by saying Bijan Robinson is not the best running back prospect since Adrian Peterson. He's great. He's not the best prospect since Adrian Peterson. I can name at least 3 running backs that have been better in college. So that's why I'm
Okay.
upset. Other than that, I'm good.
Go ahead, Kris. I'm gonna give you the floor first because I understand you're saying being better in college and you keep emphasizing that point. But have you seen? Do you think these 3 running backs have the full package like Bijan does?
I wouldn't say package because that does come into factor into like what system he's going to be put in, how they're going to use him. I've just seen some monsters at the collegiate level, whereas I do see Bijan and he's great, but I haven't seen what I've seen from these people in college from him. That's my only issue. Now, I really want to blame the media because they've put him on this pedestal. He didn't do it to himself. He didn't make these claims himself. They did for him, and it's like, okay, I'll let it slide. But there's just other prospects that I think are elite as well that just get no love because Bijan exists. So it's like I got to bring him down to earth a little bit. Great player, great running back. He's going to be great in the league, but he's not the best since AP. That's all.
The combination of solid speed. He ran sub 4.5 at 220 pounds. I think that's a good check on his mark. Solid pass blocking from what I've watched on film, which will be good. Day one check. Nimble. Seems to have a very good center of gravity as well, but nimble. If you see how he runs in a crowd, very, very beautiful. So that's a big check
crafty
on this as well. Very crafty. I mean, Kris will have highlight videos running as well, but I'm having some run in the background right now. Top end speed, I think in the NFL he will get caught on a lot of those long runs. He doesn't strike me as like the guy that's going to really take it 60 to 65 yards. That's what set AP apart in terms of like athleticism. Also Saquon, to me, he doesn't look as fast on film running away from defenses as those guys did. But you don't really need that, especially for fantasy production. Obviously, those are cool, but you don't really need that. He's a good pass catcher. Catches a lot of balls, just straight hands. That's something I also like to see out of my running backs. I just think when you combine the whole package together, the size, the speed, the nimbleness, again, the shiftiness, the vision, which I think he has very elite vision. I think you have what you pretty much crapped up as a can't miss prospect. What you say?
No, I agree with you and all that. I think what is undervalued on him is his goal line work because of what you just said. You put all those together with his decision making, finding the holes so quick, and then once you're able to respond and then try to get a hand on him, it's too late. He only needs 2 yards. So I think that's where it's going to be his like bread and butter. Of like
and he has
might
the
be his
NFL
entire
size.
career.
His
Yeah,
NFL
he has
size,
NFL
day
size.
one. Again,
Yeah.
you don't have to look elsewhere for like a goal line back or worry about that side of the durability when you get into that area. Obviously, there's like a little bit of a misconception that you need to be this huge back to be on the goal line. And that sometimes stunts the growth of like younger RBs who might not have the size, like say first few years with Aaron Jones. He's an elite goal line back, but because of his size, he didn't really get that work until people realized, oh yeah, no matter what the yardage is, no matter what it is, Aaron Jones just has a nose for the end zone, right? He had to kind of prove that before he was used as goal line back. Or Austin Eckler, same thing.
Yeah.
Took a minute before they were like, okay, this man has a nose for the end zone and is one of the better goal line backs in the league. Had to prove it. Bijan will have to deal with that coming out of college. He'll immediately get those touches just based on, again, size and his vision. To me, I think 1-1 is the pick. I don't think you go anywhere else. I liken it to the Saquon year. Obviously, you have quarterback prospects like crazy in this draft. But none of them really jump off as like this guy is gonna be generational, and I can't buy this guy later. I liken it to, again, the Saquon
there's
years.
There's one guy like that, but it's just too risky.
Exactly. Like, he's not a can't
we covered
miss.
him in the last video.
Yeah.
Check us out.
We took care of him in the last video, and I don't have him as a can't miss. But this prospect, I feel like I liken it to Saquon years. You could sell Saquon for one of these quarterbacks plus probably after the first year's over. That's how I see it. I don't think any of these guys are gonna strike like I don't know, Justin Herbert level of production first year, or a Joe Burrow first full healthy year of production. You know, a Patrick Mahomes first year of production. None of them are going to really hop off the page like that first year, whether it be a mix of coaching or a mix of talent around them. Or, again, the guy that we talked about last video, whether it be just him figuring out the NFL game. None of them are going to be able to be like yards above Bijan, who has potential to land at like a Dallas Cowboys or land at like a Philadelphia Eagles, you know, land at like a Tampa, where the offensive line is serviceable to good. The coaching is, again, serviceable to good or great. And then the weapons around them are, again, serviceable to great. Like, all those landing spots are very primed for Bijan to take over a 3-down role and have good weapons around him. Solid to, you know, decent quarterback play outside of Tampa right now, which I think they'll have okay quarterback play. And again, decent coaching. So that's the thing. You drop him in one of those situations, the touchdowns are going to come, the production should be solid, and you're looking at a top 10 running back as a rookie, which you would think is a rare thing, but it's not that rare.
No, not that rare, because like in Barkley's situation, he was such a can't-miss talent that New York still took him without having an offensive line, which is what we've seen in the early years of his career. Like, he was great, but then those hits added up, ended up being a little bit of a downfall, and now we're on the comeback tour. Whereas with Bijan's going to benefit from that because teams realize no matter how good the talent is, especially at running back, if you can't protect your assets, it's not worth the risk. So he's going to fall into a spot that is better suited for him, rather it be with the Cowboys with the OP top 5 offensive line, or in Tampa Bay when healthy could be top 5. Just depends where he lands. I just don't want him in Buffalo, but
have a fun team.
He's already set up for success. He should land in a spot where they're committed to protecting him. Or actually, I can't see any team reaching for him just because of like the league. Who?
The Bears.
Give me a second.
Bruh. Think about it. Justin Fields. You have to worry about Justin Fields and Bijan. Bruh. Think about it. DJ
But
Moore.
they still have offensive line issues too. Like, you can solve that. I'm a firm believer in getting talent when you have the chance, because you can plug and play linemen. And I don't think any lineman in this draft is better than Bijan. So I would love that. Would the Bears do it, though?
I don't know.
I think if the Bears take anything outside of linemen, it's JSN, only because of the Justin Fields connection.
I think so, too. But I was just thinking, like, okay, they have Khalil Herbert, which I'm really high on as a talent. And then they added Deontay Foreman already to be, like, kind of the 1B. But Bijan's blocking, Bijan's vision, Bijan's pass catching ability also added to that offense. And not to mention, you have a quarterback who has legs. Who do you guard coming out of the backfield? Like, obviously, I love Khalil Herbert, but you might be more susceptible to lean with, I'm going to stop Justin Fields explosive on a draw play than, you know, Khalil Herbert. No offense.
I would love that if the Bears would stop messing around, trade us Darnell Mooney for Jonah Williams. You get a lineman, and you can get yourself a little player. Yeah, like, everybody wins.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if you go...
they still have to protect them.
Yeah, they still have to protect them. I don't know, something that just struck me, I was like, that would be pretty fun to watch. Obviously, Philly is the more reasonable version of that, which, bro...
Yeah.
Whew.
He goes to Philly. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. That offensive line is still good. They brought Kelsey back. Yeah. They have Lane Johnson back for at least a year. They have their weapons out there, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. they have Jalen, and then you just drop Bijan into that team. My goodness.
Yes.
My goodness. I don't know. You see why I say he has to be the 101 in rookie picks? Like, I get your angle with how important quarterbacks are. This man has the potential to
the
be
pie as
top
a whole.
5.
It's like, unless you're in a position to afford to take him, I just think it's going to be detrimental, because if you do have the one pick, 9 times out of 10, it's probably because you have shitty quarterbacks, because it's very important in Dynasty. We all know that. So if you earn that one pick, you got to build from the bottom up. You got to have a franchise guy. If you don't have that franchise guy, I mean, you could make Bijan that, but then like we were talking earlier, next year, who are your quarterback choices? Caleb Williams, he's good. Drake May, he's good. Spencer Rattler. Like, I don't want to take my risk in that, especially if you take Bijan. And I think he's going to be a great player once again. So you're not going to be bad enough to be in that one position again unless you purely tank. Or you're going to be mediocre, get the 4 through 7 pick, and it's like, okay, we're going to have to trade up to get a QB now. It's like eventually you're going to have to get those cornerstone pieces. Whereas, like, of course, Bijan is one of those. But in all the leagues that I've been in recently, past 3 years, I want to say majority of the teams have like either a Cooper Kupp, who just went ridiculous, or a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts is what put them over the edge.
Lamar.
So,
I will give you this angle. I see less of a chance Bijan gets off to a slow start for his career.
Oh, of course. By all means.
And if he does, I see an opportunity for him to regain his value quicker than a quarterback who starts off slow in their career. We spoke about the last guy in the last video. Check it out. Where if he starts slow, there is a world where you could get the last guy we talked about and a first for Bijan.
Yeah.
Or you can sell Bijan for multiple firsts. Or because people expect
Bijan
Bijan
in the
to
last video.
Go ahead.
Should have said this in the last video. But with that guy that we talking about, a quarterback, if you take him and he starts out slow, you know what that means? Marvin Harrison Jr.
I mean, yeah, but like you
So
said,
are you
this
taking
quarterback
him
class
in the last quarterback or Bijan?
That's a tough one.
That's a tough
I know for
one.
you it's not that tough, but it's a tough one.
No,
And
I would
again,
still consider that. Once again, I love Bijan. I just hate the love that he's getting because it's not fairly distributed. That's
you
all.
hate the love that he's getting. And I get it, but him absorbing most of the love and these other guys not getting the love fairly distributed, as you say, is going to benefit us in these rookie drafts. Because let people sleep on all the other prospects.
We're eating over here.
Let them sleep on the other prospects. Because past Bijan, if you're not looking at any other guy, not everybody's going to have the 101. Right?
No,
but if you go out and target yourself like a 107 through 112 pick, go scoop up some of them second round picks. They're more valuable than people are letting you know. This is a class of
there's a lot of good prospects. Early second, late second, even early third that you can like really bust down on something. So
you have elite tight end talent that could fill up the first few picks of the second round. You have interesting running back prospects with solid enough landing spots, could sneak up into the back end of the first, early second. You got wide receiver prospects that some of them I'm high on, some of them not so much. But you'll be able to, again, sneak some of them late second, maybe early third. So, I don't know. Scoop up some of them second round picks if you could afford to. Me personally, when it comes to Bijan, I'm not in a position to afford him in much leagues. I already talked about one offer that I sent out there. That was my peak offer I'm willing to offer for the 101. It's kind of been sitting there. But now with some of the news I'm hearing, I'm probably about to pull that offer as soon as we get off tape. I was willing to spend.
I'm feeling the same way.
Yeah. But if you got Grace with the 101, beautiful. Bijan is yours, and you probably have an asset that you'll be able to sell for solid return for most of the year. If he stumbles, though, and people get a little bit, trigger happy with selling. Like, I don't know if you remember that JT rookie year.
Yeah, I do.
Go out and target Bijan. That's all I'm going to say. If he comes out the gate slow, It doesn't have many big games. Doesn't score. A little bit with Travis Etienne too this year, and people are talking about, oh, maybe he missed as a prospect. This will become a Bijan fanboy club type of channel again, just like we were on Travis Etienne. This will become go get that man for the cheap. And I know you don't like the love he's getting, but even you could say that if this man comes out the gate slow.
I'm all about value, and that's gonna be your time to strike, and that's gonna be your only time to strike. Just get it done. Like, don't overthink it. He's great. I love Bijan. Bijan, if you're watching, I'm not coming at you. I'm coming at the media. It's not between us. Just want you to know that.
So we said landing spots. You said the Bills would make you upset because of how annoying that would be.
Because he would make it that far in the draft to be one pick short of the Bengals, and then they scoop him up. Yes, I would be furious.
If he makes it to the Bengals, obviously Kris copping a jersey off the rip.
Who fucking they? Biggest Bijan fan in the world. Come to Cincy, baby, please. But he's not making it that far.
He's not making it that far. Tampa, Eagles, like Dallas, Giants. There's so many teams that they're just looking to like plug and play him potentially. Yeah, it was a lot of talk that they let Saquon walk because they don't want to pay him, get Bijan on a rookie contract. I'm not saying to do that. Okay. Obviously, when I think Giants, I think Saquon now, and I think that's invaluable. I think you have to, once you have a guy who represents your organization well, is a good poster boy for that team, you got to ride with it. Make him a Giant for life. It works good for your organization down the stretch to show that kind of loyalty to a player who I think's earned it through injury, came back, be productive, so.
100%. And we're seeing that unfold in a different sport, but with the Boston Celtics, you see how Jaylen Brown is feeling now. Like, great team, competing for championships. He's like, nah, I don't want to be here. And it's like, well, why? It's like, well, the fans suck. It's like, okay. What about the organization? It's like, well, they suck too. Remember what they did to IT after his sister died? And it's like, no loyalty. None. And I think that's lost in today's sports. A lot of the business is getting too business-like. Yeah, it's like it's about relationships. It's about committing to who you believed in. It's like with the Giants doing that, like you said, it's going to pay dividends for the free agents they get later on down the road, for people that want to come to New York and have to decide, do I want to be a Jet or a Giant? Like, that's really what we're coming down to, because both places are a landing spot for free agents now. And it
would be a good way to repair their image after the OBJ debacle.
Yeah, they fumbled that, but in their defense, OBJ was a wild card. So
he was. I'm just saying, like, you saw that there was still a talent there. He went on. He won a championship somewhere else. Obviously, he still dealt with injury. So as a Giant person in the organization, you're probably like, we did dodge a bullet there. But you haven't been able to figure out wide receiver since. So, like, did you really? But, yeah. Be loyal to your guy. But I understand the Bijan to Giants talk. I just, personally, I wouldn't do it as a person of that organization. Stick with Saquon.
Yes, sir.
There's not many teams that I say wouldn't go after him. I mean, the Chargers are talking about letting Eckler talk to people. If he lands for the Chargers, that would be insane as well. But
I'd like to pick up.
Anyway, anywhere he goes, obviously, we know the type of talent he is. Yeah, I say 101. I'd be willing to take him anywhere in the first round. Obviously, the 101 is where he'll most likely land. Worst case scenario, if you have guys who really value the quarterback, I'd say the furthest he'd probably go is the 1-4. I don't really see that as a possibility, though. I don't see anybody really taking, like, what?
It have to be a perfect landing spot for a quarterback and then a horrible landing spot, quote unquote, for Bijan. But like you said, there is no horrible landing spot for Bijan. It's just how good will he be coming out the gate, Bijan?
I feel like wherever he lands, he kills the other back's value. Like, I'm a Travis Etienne fan. If he lands in Jacksonville by some mistake on our draft board, I love Travis, but Travis is going to be in a 1A, 1B, 50-50 split, potentially 65-35 split, because Bijan is better at pass blocking than Travis. So, like, that kills his value, right? Or even if he lands in Indianapolis for some weird reason. Like,
no, they ain't doing that.
That don't make any sense, but say they did.
They'll draft Will Levis before they do that, and that's the worst part about this all.
That's the big mistake, is because of JT, they're going to have Will Levis. Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
I would rather have JT and Bijan than Will Levis under center. 100%.
Watch this man hoop. I can't wait, bro. We might have to put a compilation of the Will Levis/Levis hate if this man goes crazy year one. Hey, it is what it is. What's the highest you're willing to pay for him? I feel like you're in the same boat. Like you're a Bijan hater, but I don't think you'd let him get past the 1.4.
That's the thing. I don't want to buy Bijan unless you're going to get him for a deal, and you're not getting him for a deal. You're going to have to overpay. You're going to have to give up legitimate assets in the league, and it's like I would rather take the risk of him either A, going to a bad situation, or B, having a rough 3-game stretch coming out the gate and just buying him then, because you're still going to pay a premium, but it's going to be a lesser of a premium. But that is a risk because
you could 1-for-1 Bijan if he comes out the gate slow with somebody who might come out. You could probably 1-for-1 Bijan with J.K. Dobbins if Dobbins has a good start to the year. Something like that, you know?
If
or
someone
1-for-1
holds
Bijan
that
for Miles
1-1
Sanders.
and trades for J.K., that would be the biggest bag fumble since Orlando Brown last year.
If somebody did 1-for-1?
No, I'm just saying, if you end up trading J.K. Dobbins for Bijan 1-for-1 after the first couple of weeks of the NFL, you just never play fantasy again. Just
How about Miles Sanders? Which I'm getting real high on Miles Sanders. We talked about this in another video, but I'm back again. Miles Sanders to the Panthers is so underrated. I want to go back and buy him everywhere, but I can't.
Yeah, I tried. It's too late.
I can't. Some people might be onto it, but I don't think people understand yet. Like, this man's going to get the backfield to himself. Chuba's not really a factor. Sorry, Chuba fans, but he's not a factor like that.
His name is Chuba. I used to call him Chuba. Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard, right? They had Deontay Foreman on one Achilles tendon come in there and take that starting job.
Yeah.
And now you're going to have Miles Sanders with his level of explosion, his level of agility, right? All he needed was the work. And they're probably going to use him as a 3-down back. Granted, you know, offensive line, a little bit underrated. They were a solid run blocking line last year. So, like, this could be wheels up. And you have a rookie quarterback you got to protect? Bro,
Depends on who that quarterback is, man.
He's on my buy low. But I don't think he's going to be that low anymore. But still, people still sleep on it. There's a deal that somebody offered me preseason. I might try to go revisit that now and see if I could, if I could get my boy back. It was Miles Sanders and Joe Mixon for Dalvin Cook.
You probably could. Mixon's sliding right now. So
I know, but I don't like it.
I do think we draft a running back.
That's
so
the
his
thing.
value
I don't like the Joe Mixon part of that deal. Because it could easily turn into Dalvin Cook 1-for-1 for Miles Sanders. But I might be so high on Miles Sanders, I might be okay with that. But let me chill.
Yeah, let me chill. Thank you.
Let me chill. Let me dial it back a bit. Anyway, back on Bijan. 1-1 down. That's my investment point. Any landing spot that makes sense. Obviously, NFL teams should know what they have on their roster. As long as they act like that in the draft, wherever he lands should be fine. If he lands in Kansas City, Lord. Sorry, Pacheco fans.
I just got chills from that, bro. Don't say that.
It's curtains.
Don't say that.
But yeah, I say can't miss prospect. I understand Chris's standpoint, but he is the best running back in the draft. Any closing thoughts, Kris?
Bijan's the best in the class. He was going to have success wherever he's at. And I just like Jahmyr Gibbs. That's all. I said it.
Which, let's hop right into your boy next vid.
Hey, I'm with it. Let's get it.
All right, so we're going to go on a little bit of a running back spree after this one. We'll go Gibbs, and then I want to go Chase Brown. We got to get some of those names that aren't getting love out there. And then we're going to go Tajay Spears. We're going to go on a little bit of a running back spree after this one. All right. This has been...
Hey, as long as we don't do Zach Charbonnet, I'm good.
Oh, no, we're doing Zach Charbonnet. Because people need to see, right? Like, his tape looked like he was in slow motion. But I'll get there. We'll get there. Let's not give him too much on this one. We'll get there. We'll have a whole video to talk about Mr. Zach Charbs. But this has been KickNPost, YouTube and podcast. Check out both. Thank y'all for the support on both. And let's get into these player prospects, man. This is a fun time. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.